What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's Top 3. Today, we are so excited to be checking out 3 of the coolest cardistry decks out on the market in recent weeks. These are some fun, colorful, amazing decks for summer for anyone checking out some cardistry decks looking to expand their collection. I am really excited for these decks, Steve.
I am too. Super colorful.
Dude, no doubt about it. All great handling, all amazing designers. These are some fun decks for sure. And make sure to stick around to the end of the video to hear more about this week's free mystery deck giveaway.
Yes.
So Steve, ready to jump into number 3 here?
I am.
All right,
Tell
man.
me what it is.
Coming in at number 3 this week, we have the Malibu Zuma Beach playing cards from Gemini decks. This is the 3rd edition of the Malibu playing cards. It is a limited print run of 2,500 decks, printed by USPCC on their crushed stock and retailing for $12. This is a steal of a deck, man.
Yeah, let's see it.
So checking this thing out here, really nice, simple, but artistic tuck. No embossing or foil, but obviously being a cardistry-oriented deck, we wouldn't really expect that here. You have some beautiful, beautiful summer colors. The Surf's Up and Malibu names on either side of the tuck there with the Gemini ad copy on the bottom. And then that really vibrant summer vibe feel on that back design mirroring back of the tuck there.
Yeah. Definitely fun colors.
They really know how to put together a fun, colorful deck for cardistry. You have the Gemini ad copy right there, designed by Tomas Pinston. And then you have this beautiful back design, very much with the dual circles there and those really cool sun kind of colors. You have the very green, oranges, yellows, and kind of a bluish background to it there. Very light sky blue. Definitely a fun summer vibe, man. Being premium crush stock, this thing handles and fans like a dream. No surprise there. And it actually looks like the registration on that back there, too, wasn't too bad considering it's USPCC.
Yeah, I was shocked.
So you have matching Surf's Up Jokers here with the Malibu written across the top there. And then this really cool, fun Surf's Up Ace of Spades with this interesting gradient pattern that we actually see come through the rest of the deck as well. You can also see that this, for the most part, is a relatively standard face and number cards across the board with recolored quartz here. But looking at these quartz, you can see it in the crown of the king there and across a lot of parts of the quartz. There's this really interesting orange to blue gradient, which almost kind of looks like the shimmer you would get off of a foil, that if it were a foil face on the cards there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a hollow foil. Obviously, it's not foil, but it kind of gives you that feel.
Yeah, it has that same gradient vibe to it, which is really cool. Then, as you can see as well, they have replaced the traditional red suits with this really nice summer orange, which runs through the rest of the quartz as well. And then again, standard number and indice cards across the board, except for the aces, which have these enlarged central pips that are basically the standard pip for an ace, just made probably about 3 times the size, which is really fun.
Yeah, I always like, obviously we both like when they're a little enlarged.
It's funny because this orange that they used on the red suits actually reminds me of like a passion fruit smoothie I had the other day. Like, it's the same color, so that's like 100% summer vibes in my book.
I totally agree. I'd like to see a little less Surf's Up written in different places because it's a little much, but I think it's a fun deck. It's kind of missing a little color on that fan too. You know, I see a lot of white and that blue is just very, very light, so it doesn't peek through as much as I'd like it. Yeah,
the pattern itself, while very visually appealing, probably could have used a little bit less border just to get that fan to bleed through a little bit. I wouldn't say it would be it would be interesting to see it borderless, but I don't think I'd be a fan of this style borderless because it's a very kind of paintbrush-esque kind of style to it. But I do really love the colors that they went with on this, the shape and design itself. I could really see this in something where you have a lot of packet movement or circular rotation of the cards being very, very, like, enrapturing.
Yeah, it's a little bright for my taste. I think a little darker, it would definitely show up a little better.
Dude, 100% agreed. Really an amazing deck. I think they did a great job with this 3rd edition of the Malibu. I'm always excited to see how Gemini does a lot of their further editions because sometimes they go with the simple recolor. Other times they really try and make the colors fit the theme a little bit more. So this one again, Malibu obviously surfing oriented, Zuma Beach, very, very summer vibe. So if you're looking for a fun summer deck for the rest of your summer here, I would definitely recommend this Malibu one. But before we jump into number 2 this week, Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And ring the bell.
So Steve, tell us what's coming in at number 2 this week, man.
Number 2 is also a Gemini deck. It is the Goblin Ghost. It is printed by USPCC on their crush stock. It is an unspecified print run and is also $12.
Let's check this thing out.
This thing is total opposite of the Malibu. As you can see, it is fully decked out. The only white on this tuck is on the ad copy on the bottom.
Those are some bright colors there too.
I'm in love with it. I love it. I love the purple. I love that green. I can't even imagine how this looks under a black light.
It definitely has those like Halloween vibes to it too, which is fitting with the Ghost name. And of course, being, you know, USPCC crush stock, handles and fans like a dream there, man. Looks so nice, borderless fanning and spreading there.
Yeah, I mean, this is hands down one of my favorite Gemini decks because of the way it looks when it fans.
Yeah, you do a really nice job with it.
Yeah, here's your Goblin Ghost duplicate jokers, which I love this joker. Yeah. Super creative. You have your flaming ace of spades there. And one thing is, as you can see, it does have custom pips on each, obviously, on each of the cards. But I would have liked to have seen, as always, less, just maybe like 1 or 2 kind of littered throughout the face cards.
See, usually I would agree with you on this one, but I think with this one, I like seeing it on all of them because it takes it to that next vibrant level. You know, I really, especially, geez, those traditionally red suits with the green, like neon green yellow there, those things with that like zebra-esque pattern just looks intense.
Yeah, no, it looks great on the yellow. I 100% agree. The court cards obviously filled with color, a ton of that yellow and purple. The one thing that I think I would have liked to see different is the face cards. The court faces, they kind of have that film negative look, and that's always for me is just a downfall, just because it's really hard to get the depth of the court card, you know.
Yeah, it's a big trend right now too, so we've seen that across a couple decks, but I think they do a really nice job with it here in the sense that they're still relatively traditional court cards, but really nicely recolored. And from that cardistry point of view for this thing being borderless and just super vibrant, I'd be shocked if you see the court cards much. You know, it might even be so that you have more blank space or black space on the front of the cards for when it is in motion.
Yeah, and you have a beautiful fan on the inside as well.
Looks good. They go to the next level with fanning elements on these Goblin decks. You can tell this is meant to be a fanned and spread deck. I always love to see what they do for the colorways on those. The gold and the green are honestly some of my favorites as well, with the way they fan and the way they build it out.
Yeah, Thomas is definitely so creative when it comes to his decks.
Dude, absolutely agree. Really interesting to see the way he designs these and how they come through from the Gemini brand.
Yeah. What's number 1?
Dude, so number 1 this week is a fun one. This is a really interesting deck, and honestly, I think we've said it in the past, one of the what I would consider most slept on cardistry deck designers out there. Coming in at number 1 this week, we have the AVH Typographic playing cards from Luke Wadey and JP Games Limited. This is printed by Cardimundi on their B9 slimline stock, is part of an unspecified print run, and retails for $14. Ready to check this thing out and get your mind blown?
I am, man.
Let's check it out. So as you can see, really clean, simple, minimalist tuck design here, as we'd expect from Luke. Luke is the king of minimalism when it comes to playing cards in that typographic space. You have the AVH, which is meant to be Arial versus Helvetica, 2 of the most prominent fonts in the design world. Really cool geometric back design here. Love the colors that bring out from the tuck there. You have the whites, the blacks, the yellows, and the grays really just coming together to create almost a puzzle-esque vibe to it. It kind of reminds me of those puzzles where you have all the triangles and you try and fit them in the square.
Yeah.
Handles and fans like a dream, being Cardimundi's B9 slimline, probably one of my favorite handling stocks at the moment, with Legends being a very close second in their new Viper stock. But this is a great looking deck. 2 matching jokers here. Love the color difference there between the yellow and the black, but same text across the board. Then you have a really interesting take on playing cards here, where all of the central pips have been replaced by a larger than life-size version of whatever the indice is for that card. So you have the king with a cut of a K there, the ace with the cut of an A. Really fun design on it. Very small indices and pips in the corners, and then you also have some text on the opposite side as well.
Yeah, there's always like little details littered throughout the face cards with Luke's decks.
He does such a phenomenal job with it, and I love being able to see how there's so many different representations of the designation of the card. So you can see it in the corner there, Jack, J, Heart, Jack, Hearts. Like, it's just such a interesting take on the way to approach a deck from a typographic point of view. Awesome, awesome ad card here. Get a kick out of the fact that there's a QR code on it, because I feel like QR codes like had a peak, dipped down, and then they're making a return because of COVID. But the ad card also explains the whole purpose behind this deck, which is the exploration of Ariel and Helvetica font, which again are two of the most prolific fonts in graphic design. Dude, Luke coming strong with this collab with JP Games Limited. I think they both did a great job, both being UK-based businesses. No surprise that they had to collab eventually. I think this has been a long time in the works as well. So I'm really excited to see it coming out to light finally.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The only thing that I mean, this is totally nitpicky. The only thing I would have liked to have seen is on those court cards, maybe like between the suits, have like different parts of the letter in the card rather than the same one over and over through the suits.
Yeah, it definitely would have helped with a little bit of like variation throughout. I think, you know, touching on that as well, one of the things with the way the indices are built out and everything, while the deck is 100% playable, I wouldn't recommend it for Magic, obviously, because people are going to be thrown off or, you know, really caught up by the design of it more so than what you're trying to show them. But I think this really does speak to the cardistry aspect of Luke's work and really his desire to break through in that cardistry segment more so than the following, the dedicated following that he already has. Absolutely spectacular deck. Really well-deserved first spot this week for the AVH typographic playing cards from Luke Wadey and JP Games Limited.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched.
Dude. And now for the part everyone's been waiting for, we are about to announce this week's mystery deck winner. So everyone, make sure to keep an eye right on the screen down below and congratulate Steve Temkin. You can see his comment right down below. Steve is a newcomer to the channel, so he absolutely lucked out here. But that just means that every person watching today has just as good a chance, whether you're a longtime OG of the channel or brand new to it. So make sure to drop a comment down below and get in on next week's free mystery deck giveaway. You never know, your comment could show up on screen and you could win a free mystery deck. So make sure to like the video, share and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Hey, bye.